was just having a look at something that's going on Twitch, so I'm just going to
Oh,
record this.
well,
But yeah,
we're officially live. I don't know our levels because I messed with my microphone today.
okay. Well, we'll have a look at it anyway. So if anyone's in, I'll keep an eye.
I recorded this amazing song that I cannot wait to make into a video.
Oh, one of those ones again.
Yeah.
Is this what you've been doing to try and kill time?
Yep.
Okay.
I did. 122. We're not on episode 122. Get that out of here.
127, I said.
Yeah. But I accidentally had the 122 news thingy up.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought you'd labelled the episode 122.
New.
Mm.
Chatty chat, you get 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and then we
Yes.
are going into this. Oh, Bueno's here. Hello, Brent.
Oh, yeah. Let me bring the chat up, actually.
Oh, Brent, if you
Oh,
can
chat.
tell us if the sound is good, because I messed with my microphone, so we need to know.
Well, it sounds okay from what I can hear,
Well, that part's good then.
I guess. Right, chat's open anyway, so I can see it.
That's good.
Yeah, we're sounding okay.
Can't stay too long. Gonna watch the last hour of the race, of course. Well, we're glad you dropped
Is
by.
that Daytona? Le Mans? I don't know. I'm
Cars
not sure
going
which
vroom
race.
vroom.
Yeah, I'm just not sure which race he's talking about. Sound levels are
Human
low,
race.
especially me.
Oh, okay. So me, see, that's what. Yeah, Pete, you do sound low, but I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
I don't. Look, we've got little time. There's not much I can do
Yeah,
about it. It will sound better in the recording because I've already done the test.
yeah. I've raised you up, Pete. So
I'm going to talk and see whether that sounds better.
I
Brent,
raised you
your is.
up.
Oh,
Six
6 hours
hours
of
of work.
Watkins Glen. Okay, sounds cool.
I don't
I'll have to
know
give it a
what
look
that
later.
is. I don't know what that is.
I can only imagine it's some sort of endurance race,
Hmm.
gathered by the 6 hours.
Hmm. That reminds me of I once was on an Atari, like somebody had like an original Atari, and
Uh-huh.
they had an Indy 500 game and
Oh,
the
nice.
paddles, but apparently Indy 500 on Atari means you have to actually go 500 laps or whatever.
Of
It's
course.
like after like the 10th lap, I was like, I'm bored now.
Mm.
See, that really concerns me. I don't know if I've
I
done
don't know.
something. Well, I'm
I,
gonna
I
check.
mean, I'm not sure what it is, but my headphones were a bit weird yesterday, so
Hmm. Well,
might have to have a look into that soon.
yeah. Let's see. If I switch you to this, talk now, Pete.
Talk now, Pete.
I don't think it's any different, but
I don't
um,
know.
I'll put it there.
Cool.
Yeah, speakers are all the way up.
Okay. So we'll just let me know if you need to do any more adjusting of it, but it seems to be okay on the actual recording side.
That's the important bit.
Yeah, because this is podcast audio format.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
worst
yeah.
case scenarios, I'll just an audio version on the video platforms instead.
Yeah. It's weird sitting in the dark like this.
I thought you'd be used to it.
No, I can't say
Okay.
that I am. Although I do play my game. What
Hang
I.
on,
Huh?
hang on. So next to your Series S, is that PlayStation 3 box?
I mean, I do have a PlayStation 3, but this one's PlayStation
I
4.
meant the other side of the Series S.
That?
That, yeah.
That's Master Chief.
Oh, okay.
I haven't brought myself to take them out yet.
Oh, yes, okay.
See?
Nice.
Imported from
Oh, cool.
America. Where's
America.
There it
Oh,
is.
it's one of those charging, like, when it charges you.
Yeah.
controller stands.
See,
That's cool.
only at Target.
Speaking of which, actually, I didn't realise until I was putting the news together
Uh
that
huh.
the first episode of Halo actually was on Channel 5 in the UK.
Yes.
That's it. It was apparently a cross advertisement for Paramount Plus coming out the same day.
Oh, right, right, right.
It was annoying because they didn't even put it on the catch-up service, just that one
Oh
episode.
my
Because I was
gosh.
going to go and watch it without watching Paramount Plus.
That's
So
crazy.
I might just have to go and, go and hailstorm it,
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be my new analogy
Uh huh.
that kind of thing.
Uh, I like that. Um, there's
Shall we go?
yes, there is an Ailstorm song that I wanted to send Deadbeat. Oh, I forgot to do
Speaking
that.
of which, I've got an update for you, which we can leverage on the show.
Ooh.
You might be interested to hear this.
Okay. Well, Brent says I have redacted, staying with me, and brought an X-Bone S and feel sorry for them. Ah.
Oh, the privilege.
But anyway, Pete, what were you gonna say? And then we'll start.
Oh, I'm going to say this on the show, on the actual recording.
Oh, okay. Well, let's.
Clarification from last week.
Oh, not a
Um,
retraction.
not a retraction or apology, just an update.
That's what they all say.
Oh, always,
um.
always.
Okay, count me in.
Yeah. So we're recording. So let's go in 3, 2.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to episode 127 of Rapid Reviews Podcast. I am your co-host, Kylie Wilde, and I'm joined by my ever-present co-host, Pete Beckett.
Hello. I've had about 2 hours sleep.
Yeah, I was
Tired.
gonna say, how you doing, Pete?
Had about
Sleepy
2 hours
Pete?
sleep. Tired. And I've had kids running around most of the afternoon. So yeah,
No, you
busy day, busy day.
did.
Uh, Short, sweet, and to the point, probably today.
Yes, has to be.
But
Yep.
what about you?
I am suddenly have to be like at the UK visa office at 8 a.m. tomorrow. It's for a good thing, it's not for a bad thing. So I am like, I'm so
I think
sleepy.
I know what this could be then, and I'll talk to you in private about it if I
Okay.
properly know.
Yeah, 'cause that might not want to be airing that stuff in public, but
Of course, yeah. So that's fair enough. But
well, mm-hmm.
just before we went live, obviously, I just wanted to I did say that I had a bit of an update in regards to
Yes,
something that happened on last week's show.
yes.
So I need to offer a little bit of an update in regards to the online play for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge.
Oh, yes. Have you?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you there. Your reaction was, ooh.
Oh, it was ooh oh.
Yeah, I could see the movement, just couldn't hear it in the microphone. So this afternoon, before the mad kids came over,
Mm-hmm.
I managed to actually get about 45 minutes in with one friend of the show, Deadbeat Punk.
Right.
Managed to play 3 levels, and it was pretty seamless.
So, do you think that was on my end, or was it just?
That I know exactly what the issue it was, and it was all me.
Oh, Pete.
So last week when we were playing it, obviously, or the week before, no, it was last week.
It was, yeah.
Um, uh, I went to go and play with a wired connection
Right.
and hadn't actually set up the wired connection.
Oh, right.
So me being a foolish idiot.
Well,
But
well.
yeah, I can clarify that actually I did have a pretty stable and seamless connection. It was, I mean, the call it, I can't remember, but the frame count kept going up quite high at times. But the
Oh,
fact
right.
that it indicated like that, but it's still like there was barely any input lag as well, so it was
Oh, that's
really
great.
nice.
Yeah, we'll have
So,
to rematch for sure.
oh yeah, for sure. It's just obviously I had a few comments from Deadbeat himself saying that he'd been playing it like throughout the week, so took my opportunity whilst I saw he was online playing it and just went, right, send you an invite, let's have a look.
Well, there you go.
and it
That's
worked. So
excellent.
yeah, right. So let's get right into this because yeah, time is of the essence. We are short on it, and we're gonna make this quick, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least that's what they all say.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So we're going to do news this week. So going to start out actually by some pretty sad news that came out this morning, actually, very early hours of the morning. Bernie Stoller, the ex Sega of America president and Sony Computer Entertainment of America founder, passed away at the age of 75. So huge icon in the video game industry who is no longer with us. So yeah, sad news, of course. Big shout outs to the family. I hope they don't have to, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
So the next
Absolutely.
story, obviously just didn't really want to cover that in massive detail
Oh no,
because
right. Yeah, yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
we obviously well, I wanted to bring this one up anyway because it's about a certain franchise that you are a big fan of, and it'd be Halo. So
Uh-huh.
I'm just going to read the read as is
Okay.
story. Wait, sorry, well, I didn't even know the link. This idiot. So come on, come on, come on, come on. Stupid thing. Halo Master Chief Collection's developer is exploring adding microtransactions. Players may be able to buy the newly renamed Spartan points to skip the grind. Your reaction is exactly what I needed to see. Would you care to
I forgot.
vocalize it for the
We are,
podcast?
yeah, we are an audio medium, aren't we? Um,
Yes.
actually, before I continue on, Pete, just check for me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if you're coming through your webcam, I'm wondering if that might be it. Your audio.
What, my microphone?
Yeah,
I don't think so, but I'll have a look.
just check and see. Or
USB microphone, no, so it should be fine.
yeah, I do not understand it. Oh well, that's okay. All that matters is
Right.
that. Oh
Is that better?
wow, yes,
Okay, well, I think I fixed it.
excellent. That sounds
Cool.
much better.
Sweet. Shall we restart the show?
Nah, because in the you have the audio though, and it's all good, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's fine.
Yeah. Well, that's much better. I feel much better about
Okay,
that.
right. So I'm just going to read through the story very, very quickly to some
Yes.
degree, and then we'll have a few comments on it. So 343 Industries says that it's internally exploring the idea of adding microtransactions to Halo the Master Chief Collection. In a new blog on the official Halo Waypoint website, community writer Alex Wakeford explains that the game would be ending its season-based model in favor of a series model due to roll out in the next update. Okay, part of the new update will involve renaming season points, which can be earned through gameplay, to Spartan points. Despite the name change, Spartan points will still be earned by completing challenges and leveling up to unlock the items in the game. But 343 Industries are now looking into charging real-world money for them too. For players who are new to the MTCs, so this is a quote by the way, or who may not have dedicated as much time specifically to unlocking items during the seasonal updates, or are simply completionists looking to catch the last outstanding items they need, we are internally exploring a potential new feature for the future in the form of purchasable Spartan points. It is prudent to note here that we are happy with the current system of how players earn Spartan points by completing challenges and leveling up through play. This, God, I always hate this statement. I really do. It's so crummy every time. This would be an alternative, additive, or this would be an optional additive alternative for players who might find the vast scope of content to be intimidating. To be an intimidating amount of playtime and want to go ahead on or skip the grind, or maybe want to grab specific items they want. No.
Nope.
This is, you've seen your player numbers dwindling since Halo Infinite's come out. You've seen Halo Infinite's player numbers go down as well because your seasonal updates are very few and far between and very not very content rich to say the least. So you are exploring ideas how to monetize those two games because you can't monetize them elsewhere. So this feels pretty shady to me, and this is coming off the back of the fact that the Master Chief Collection launched in an incredibly awful way and took years to even get to the point where it was like playable, let alone serviceable.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that Halo Infinite, whilst launching 3 weeks early, like the multiplayer component, was barren.
Right.
So I think this is just an absolute joke, and I really do not know what 343 Industries are doing, and this is further cementing the point that I made after Halo Infinite launched, that I don't think 343 Industries are the right developers to even be doing Halo anymore.
I definitely don't. I haven't thought that for a very long time.
Yeah, of course. I mean, what do you think specifically, like in regards to all of this?
I think that I think it's been very, very, very clear from the outset that they didn't have an identity. They didn't know what their goal was, because even mid development of Infinite, they had to get what's his face on from that that had worked on Halo before.
Oh, Joseph Staten.
Yes, and that was even to just out, and that wasn't like that long. That was pretty far in the development. So I think they had an identity crisis, didn't know what to do. I think that's a bigger project than 343 ever imagined it would be, and I think they fumbled the ball. I really, really do. And I think they were hoping they could coast on some nostalgia until they got their act together, but they've never got their act together.
No.
And I love the Halo franchise. I love the lore. I love everything about it, as I've said countless times. They have not put anything in their battle pass that I have desired, that I've wanted to get. Or they've put very few things. Like, I do want the flaming armor.
Looks really cool, but
yeah.
like, I'm pretty sure you can get flaming armor in pretty much every game now that has a seasonal content.
Well, I mean, yeah, and even if so, like, I probably would have gone after that if the grinding was a little more realistic. But I mean, outside of that, like, their shaders aren't that great. They come out with this armor, and it just all looks very samey. There's no individuality to it, really. Which is the difference between that and Destiny, where Destiny you can, it becomes a very individual type thing. So really, bottom line for me is that 343 has had an identity crisis for Halo since forever.
I probably would say since the beginning.
Yeah. I think they wanted to separate themselves from Bungie, and I think that was a bad idea.
I mean, it was pretty clear, obviously, that Microsoft wanted Bungie to continue making Halo properties.
Yeah.
Bungie obviously did not want to, so Microsoft should have budged and just gone, right, Bungie, you make your own thing. Like, we don't need Halo for a while.
Yeah.
Let the free games rest as is, or even like to a point, just let them do Reach and ODST. Let them go and do what they wanted to do, which was clearly Destiny.
Right.
Let them develop it with the amount of time that they should have had under the Microsoft banner. Allowed them that time, that support, that ecosystem to have a live service game on a console that was not doing very well at the time. I mean the Xbox One, by the way. And you could have had an exclusive there that would have blown everything else out of the water when the Xbox One really needed something. Instead, you set up 343 Industries, who have at this point have only made one good Halo game, and that's a remake.
Right.
So for me, like, I'm not a Halo fan like as much as you are, but I didn't see anything in Halo 4 that made me want to go and play it. I definitely didn't see anything in Halo 5 that made me want to play it. And I'll be honest, I still haven't completed the story for Infinite because I don't care. Right. I have no interest.
Yeah.
The narrative is really, really boring, actually. It's half the reason why I haven't gone back to it.
It's very short, as we know. I played it in 10 hours, 10 or 12 hours. So it was very short. I just assumed that they were going to have more, like DLC or something, but I don't think they are. It's just
I think they will,
weird.
But there's going to come later on down the line for sure.
It's been a very weird roadmap, I will say that.
I agree. I think at this point, like, I'm probably going to be one of the only people that needs to say this, and I don't want this to come off as an absolutely horrific like comment aimed at being a misogynistic piece of crap.
Right,
But Bonnie
okay.
Ross needs to leave. She is not good for Halo. She is taking this project, or the Halo project itself, and running it into the ground because she's spreading herself far too thin by adding so many different properties for Halo. Like, why do you need the TV show? Why do you need all the books? Why do you need everything around it? Focus on the one thing where it started, the games.
That all comes back to me saying that they've really had an identity crisis with Halo. They don't
Yeah,
they don't know. They've just lost the focus, you know. And the
yeah,
focus was always Master Chief and Cortana's relationship.
of course.
And I don't even mean romantic relationship. I'm talking about the relationship between man, machine, and AI. You know, it's this very like philosophical thing and blah blah. And
Yeah,
then, of course
of
you had
course.
Arbiter. Arbiter is a whole nother section of this relationship, and
Mm,
then they've just ripped it apart, made it make no sense, and then, as we've seen with the Halo TV show, completely tear up the lore.
yeah,
And I'm confused. Like, why? You know? And I think
because I
that
think.
they. Mm-hmm.
Go on.
Well,
No, carry on, Karen.
I was just going to say that I think that Halo had the potential, and people are going to laugh at me, but I don't care. I think Halo had the potential of being like the next Star Wars, as in franchises, you know?
I'm glad you mentioned that because that's actually what I was going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I think Halo is the new Star Wars.
Well, I mean, and then, considering they're both messed up now, you know?
Yep. They've been handed to another company who have no idea and no clue and no roadmap and no plan of what they're actually doing. They're just flooding the market with content because in this day and age, it is, oh, shiny thing, dangle keys in front of someone.
Yeah.
Oh, look, content. Then, oh, look, now get excited for next piece of content, next show, next thing, this thing. You know, it is literally an assault on your senses now in terms of your time spent across like video games, movies, TV shows, the whole lot. And I'll be honest, I'm now finding that with the Marvel stuff
Yeah.
in a massive way. I'm getting like, and this is bad for me to say as someone who does a podcast on the bloody Marvel stuff, but I'm 2 episodes into Loki, and I'll talk more about that in the Never Watches, of course. But I hate it. I think I hate it. But yeah, like obviously talking about Halo, I was quite excited about there being a Halo TV show.
Mm-hmm. I was.
But then that first trailer.
It made me nervous. It made me very nervous. It's kind of like with Starfield. Like, I'm looking forward to Starfield. The trailer comes out and it makes me nervous. Like, I'm still looking forward to it, but I'm nervous now. And that's how
Yeah.
it was with Halo. And then Halo, dropped. And it was terrible. It was terrible.
Mm.
I
I mean, I'm good.
Mhm.
Look, I'll be honest. I'm going to watch it, but I'm going to, like I
Yeah.
said, I think in the pre-stream, I'm going to hailstorm that.
Yes.
So make of that what you will. Don't
Mhm.
care. I'm officially not giving money to Paramount Plus.
Yeah. No, I think
Anyway, I'm
that's
going to move on to the next story, and
Yeah.
funnily enough, I'm going to move on to a story that has a tangential link to Halo.
Oh, yay.
A Destiny YouTuber who allegedly
Oh, yes.
impersonated Bungie is being sued by the studio for $7.7 million.
Yep.
And this is coming off the back end of the fact that Bungie recently just sued another content creator or company for $12 million. So
Yep.
they're kind of rolling in the money at the moment.
Yeah, but I think they're trying to send a message.
Of course, yeah. I'm being hyperbolic with that one, of course, but yeah, I'll read through the story quickly. So so all stories, as we know, because VGC is not a bad company and not a bad outlet, that all the sources are VGC for this one. So Bungie is seeking a $7,650,000 in damages from a Destiny YouTuber who allegedly impersonated the company in order to issue a series of bogus DMCA strikes against fellow content creators. If you want to hear the initial part of this story, you can go back a few episodes to listen to this. This is an update to our the story that was covered. So just to obviously give you the TLDR of that, so you don't have to go and listen to us ranting and raving about it. The studio said in March that it was investigating a series of copyright takedowns on YouTube that had not originated from the company or its partners. Later that month, it filed a lawsuit claiming that John Doe's had used a hole in YouTube's DMCA process security to impersonate the studio and sabotage the work of Destiny content creators. In a revision of its original complaint, which was spotted on the Gamer Post, the defendant has been named as Nick Miner, aka YouTuber Lord Nazo. No idea. Last December, the YouTube channel of Lord Nazo was issued a takedown notice after publishing music from the original soundtrack for Destiny's expansion The Taken King, which Bungie said infringed copyrights and violated its policy for fan use of intellectual property. Rather than remove the video, Miner is alleged to have left it online until YouTube deleted it in January. Bungie claims that, seemingly in retaliation, Miner created fake Gmail accounts in order to pose as the studio's brand protection visor, CSC, or vendor, sorry, and send out a... It would have sounded better with visor, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And send out a wave of fraudulent takedown notices targeting videos posted by members of the Destiny community, including My Name is Byf, B-Y-F, Anticross, the Phoenix, and Promethean.
Yes.
I'm not going any more into this because it's basically the long and short of it is quite boring.
Yeah.
It's very legal.
Yes.
So the long and the short is obviously they found the person involved in this and now taking them to court.
Which I'm glad. I did. I am glad. I was when they took My Name is Beef, whatever his name is. He's the one that I watch.
Oh, okay.
When they did that strike and when they took it down. And he had worked really hard. Like, he's one of Destiny's big-time content creators.
Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ.
What?
Sorry, I literally looked out my window for a second. I saw a giant heron flying past.
Oh.
My God. I just saw the wingspan. I was like, bloody hell.
But, yeah, I actually was very, like, I can't... I was one of those people who thought... Oh, now that Sony owns Bungie, Sony's going after. I mean, that was my first immediate thought.
Yeah, because this was obviously coming back to the Last of Us 2 situation that we had, where at the time I think we were talking about, I couldn't remember who it was, but it was Muso Interactive, if you remember.
Yes.
Was the company that was sort of issuing the copyright strikes.
Yeah. So of course that was my first immediate reaction, and then it turned out not to be the case, and then I'm glad Bungie's doing this. Very glad.
Yeah, I mean, like, whilst obviously I don't like the idea of obviously people going to court for large amounts of money in this respect, especially like a company that have clearly got a lot of money taking someone to court for an amount of money they wouldn't ever have.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is that we've seen this sort of thing before, and we've had this situation before, like when it comes to Nintendo being a bit aggressive when it comes to their intellectual property. Mm-hmm. But if they're not seen protecting their intellectual property, then any copyright claims that could happen in the future could be ignored because they're not seen to be protecting their IP.
Yeah. So
it's sort of like a catch-22 situation. If you have an IP, you've got to uphold it, which means that you've got to obviously leverage some court cases against some people that, may not like it. But in this respect, the guy shouldn't have been an absolute twat.
Yep.
Like, he should have taken his video down in December because that music is copyrighted material. Right. As much as you don't want to think it is, and sharing it on YouTube, whilst it's nice for people who want to listen to the soundtracks, should be done in an official capacity because the residuals won't be going to the people who should be getting them. They're going in your pocket.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And that's especially prevalent after speaking with Daniel a few weeks ago, that actually, like, I'm glad that his name is on the Street Fighter music on Spotify because obviously he's going to get the residuals from the music he's created. And I think that's fair for everyone. You create a piece of work, you just have to get paid for it.
Yes, I agree with that.
So I think in this one, I think Bungie are correct. Like they're absolutely correct. And whilst some people obviously might see this as like corporate like manhandling or heavy-handedness,
overreach or whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to say heavy-handedness.
Yeah, heavy-handed. Yeah, it's good.
I think they're absolutely correct in this instance, and fair play. Like, yes, the amount is ridiculous, but they've clearly, obviously, gone through and seen how much residuals were lost from this situation.
Yeah.
So, it sucks, but well. Well, it is a lesson for anybody out there in the wider world who wants to do things like this. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Exactly.
So, moving on. I think we'll cover the bigger story last, if you want to do that.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple of pieces here that are linked to a certain company. So we'll go through those together, but I'll separate them to some degree.
Okay.
So this one's going to be a little bit. This one might be a little bit on the shorter side, let's say, because this one is based on a very prevalent gaming mystery that now has seemingly been confirmed after nearly 30 years.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not going to read the headline.
Right.
I'm just going to read the blurb, the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
Former Sonic team head Yuji Naka, Yuji Naka comes up for another week, has seemingly confirmed that Michael Jackson did compose some of the music for Sonic Hedgehog 3. This has been the biggest mystery in terms of gaming. Like, it's just been ridiculous. It's like folklore, isn't it? It's just.
Yeah.
The question of Jackson's involvement. I did see this tweet, by the way, and I looked at it and I went, "Oh boy, this is gonna blow. This is gonna blow up." Because we all know that Yuji Naka's had a few problems with both Sega and Square Enix recently, so yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like he just doesn't care anymore.
Nope, and I don't blame him, honestly.
Neither do I. He's too old, too long in the tooth, had too many problems, and just thought, you know what?
Yeah.
Why not? So, the question of Jackson's involvement has been widely discussed and argued online for many years, because it's widely believed that some of the tracks were composed by Michael Jackson, who wasn't credited in the final game. Mm-hmm. But it could be a similar situation where he was doing it under a pseudonym, like he did with The Simpsons.
Yep.
Yep. Sega has never officially confirmed Jackson's involvement, while various individuals over the years have given conflicting responses. However, a tweet by Naka referring to the recent music changes in Sonic Origins, this is why I bring it up, because the next story is about Sonic Origins,
right?
Appears to have put the issue to bed once and for all. And yeah, like I said, I read this tweet at the time, so I'm going to read it for that exactly how it is. Oh my god, the music for Sonic 3 has changed, even though Sega official uses Michael Jackson's music, Naka said.
Oh.
Naka was one of the programmers on Sonic 3 and also produced the game, so would have had definitively known if Jackson had been involved in contributing music for the game. His tweet refers to the changes made in Sonic Origins, which was released at the time of writing today. That obviously wasn't today as we record this.
Yeah.
And doesn't include the original Sonic 3 soundtrack. Jackson's music has been replaced by recreated versions of the music originally designed for the game before Jackson's alleged involvement. So the tweet, the two threads obviously said, does Sonic Origins Sonic 3 have a different song? Yeah, and then obviously the tweet that I commented on before.
Right.
The widespread debate over Jackson's involvement in Sonic 3 came in 2006 when YouTuber Quijimbo created a video showing similarities between numerous songs of the game and Jackson's own music. Now, I'm going to have to tell you about this because I was recently at work with a person who recently started, who does like a few games.
Right, okay.
So I had asked him if he had ever heard about this. He's a younger guy. He's like 21.
Oh.
And he'd never heard of this before. So I said to him, okay, do yourself a favor, go and listen to the Sonic 3 soundtrack, and then go and listen to a couple of Michael Jackson songs. And I told him based on the video by Kojimbo, I told him to go and listen to the songs that were listed there. He came back a few days later and went, "My God, it is like very similar, isn't it?" And I went, "Yep, yes it is, but it's never been officially confirmed." So, the video followed up a 2005 interview with the former Sega Technical Institute director, Roger Hector, who claimed that Michael Jackson had been recruited by Sega to compose music for Sonic 3, but after the sexual abuse allegations first emerged,
right.
Jackson's music was erased. Anyway, I'm not going into this because we all know about the rumored legend that is.
Yeah.
So, is this a surprise to you?
I mean, yes and no. It's a surprise that someone came out and made it definitive. But honestly, after the Simpsons thing of our childhood, that episode, I always had like one foot in the belief that, yeah, absolutely, Michael Jackson did, absolutely.
And can I make it very abundantly aware to you about something to do with that episode, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
It is the only Simpsons episode that is not on Disney Plus.
Is it really?
They've completely removed it.
Wow.
I know, because I went back and when it first came onto Disney Plus, I went through it and I didn't realize until the very last moment when I got through all the bits that I wanted to. I went, "Hang on a minute, I have not seen an episode. Why is that?" And I went,
Lisa's
"No,
birthday.
they've removed it.
So
How dare they?"
do they own the song Lisa's Birthday, or does Michael Jackson's estate?
No idea.
It's your birthday.
But I don't, because I really want to watch that episode now, because it is absolutely fantastic.
It is. I remember being a kid and like I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons, so anytime I did, I had to sneak and watch them. And that was one of the ones I was just like, "Oh, this is so amazing."
Yeah. They, funnily enough, they actually brought the character Leon Kowalski back in an episode in like season 30, I think it was.
Gosh.
Or like much later down the line.
Yeah. Oh.
So that was a bit weird.
Yeah, that's
But
weird.
I'm with you on this one. I always thought that, the music sounded so similar and so. It's not even just that it sounded similar, it is the same tone, the same melody, the same beats per minute.
Yeah.
As quite a lot of his songs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are far too many similarities between them to make it, like, that sort of made it definitive to me even before this confirmation. There's too much evidence in the for category rather than the against for me.
Right. That makes sense.
But obviously it's pretty telling that they decided to obviously change they've changed the music for Sonic Origins, which, fine. I mean, it's the reason why Sonic 3 doesn't really get re-released very frequently.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also very telling that even 6 months after the fact, when they released Sonic and Knuckles, the music was totally different.
Yes, it was.
Don't get me wrong, Sky Sanctuary is still an absolute banger, but it is no touch on anything that was done on the first part of the soundtrack, especially Hydrocity.
Right.
Yes, I said Hydrocity, not Hydro City.
So you're one of the ones that say Hydrocity.
Yeah, I finally got to that point where I think it is actually supposed to be Hydrocity rather than Hydro City.
That doesn't make sense. Although it is written as one word, but still.
Yeah, I mean, but they've done it before, like Sky Sanctuary Zone. If they wanted it to, like, a double name, like, they would have done it.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's one word seems pretty telling to me.
Yeah.
Speaking of pretty telling, this is pretty telling. So, anyway, let's move from Michael Jackson onto Sonic. Again?
Yes.
This one. Moving. I'm just gonna read it. Just gonna read it. Sonic Remaster developers says he was very unhappy about the state of Sonic Origins. What is in Origins is not what we turned in. So, one of the key developers involved in the remastered featured in Sonic Origins has said the whole team is unhappy with the condition of the final product. The compilation was released on Thursday, so that was a few days ago as we recorded. Includes remasters of Sonic, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. you've missed a game out. It's Sonic 2. They forgot to put Sonic 2 in there as well.
That's weird.
Sonic 3 and Knuckles and Sonic CD. So,
Sonic
the
CD.
Sonic CD Remaster was originally developed by Christian Whitehead using his retro engine. Now, for anyone who may or may not know, Christian Whitehead and Headcanon were the team, and Pagoda Games were the team that the two teams that actually put together Sonic Mania.
Yeah.
And this was done, and they originally started out life developing ports of Sonic games for mobile. So this was using the retro engine, while Sonic 1 and 2 were developed by Whitehead and Headcanon Games. Headcanon then confirmed in April that it had remastered Sonic 3 and Knuckles for the upcoming Sonic Origins. However, Sonic Origins itself was developed and compiled in-house at Sega using the remasters, and Headcanon developer Simon Tomley, aka Stealth, is not happy with the finished product. This is frustrating, Tomley said in a Twitter thread. I won't lie and say that there wasn't issues in what we gave to Sega, but what is in Origins is also not what we turned in. Integration introduced some wild bugs that conventional logic would have one believe were our own responsibility. A lot of them aren't. Regarding Origins, we were outsiders creating a separate project that was then wrangled into something entirely different. We knew going in that there would be some major time crunch, and we worked ourselves into the ground to meet it, just so that this would be even be made and released. Again, I can take responsibility for mine and my team's mistakes, and there were some actual mistakes, some overlooking, some rush jobs, some stuff we noticed but weren't allowed to correct near the end. It's absolutely not perfect, and some of it is from us. It's complicated. I'm extremely proud of our team for their performance under such pressure, but every one of us is very unhappy about the state of Origins and even the Sonic 3 component. We weren't too thrilled about its pre-submission state either, but a lot was beyond our control. We asked to do major fixes near submission, but weren't allowed due to submission and approval rules. We asked about delays early and repeatedly, but were told they weren't possible. We offered to come back for some post-release fixes and updates. We do not yet know if this is happening. And that's the statement.
Unbelievable. That's crazy.
Yeah, I want you to go in a little bit on this first before I have my comments on this.
Okay. I think this is almost similar. This is crazy, but I think it's similar to what we were talking about at the top of the show, which is, Halo having an identity crisis. Well, there's another franchise that has had an identity crisis for a very long time, and that is Sonic. They never know how to handle that property, and it's ridiculous because sometimes when it hits, it is a hit, and it is good, and it is wonderful, and then when it bombs bad. There's never really this kind of middle ground with any of the Sonic properties. And I think what happens is the developers go in, they do their job, and I think the higher-ups get their hands on it and say, we're changing Sonic again. And I think that's what they've done. They've just lost sight and are trying to turn money. Money is their focus instead of pleasing the fan base or whatever, however you want to call that. So that's what I think. So what about you, Pete? What do you think? Wait, you blanked out. What'd you say?
I said okay. I'm trying to sort of internalize or externalize the internal voice that's telling me to start screaming about this. Right. Okay. Let's just let this happen naturally.
Yes.
So as a big Sonic fan,
Yes.
and a big Sonic fan of the original games,
Yep.
It may not shock people to know that I was more of a Sonic fan back in the day,
Yeah.
more than Mario. Whilst
Oh,
Mario was
right,
the first game I ever played, I had more affiliation with the Sonic games.
Right. I do
Probably
think.
because I had a Mega Drive.
Right. See, I think you mentioned that early days. Way
Yeah.
early days. Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, don't get me wrong, massive Mario fan.
Oh, yeah.
Also a big Sonic fan.
Mm-hmm.
Classic Sonic, that is. So, I played these games to utter death as a kid.
Right.
Like, and I mean to death.
Yes.
To the point where when the day that my Mega Drive got thrown out, I was fuming.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
Because I still had Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles.
Oh,
And
goodness.
I would have played those like they were going out of fashion. And probably still would be. I mean, if I
Yeah.
still owned it, it'd be sitting right up there right now.
Yeah.
I love that console.
Oh, yeah.
Genesis,
That was
the
what I
Genesis on the
had.
Mega Drive is like one of my favorite
Yeah.
consoles of all time.
I'd-
Absolutely ridiculous machine.
Oh, it was. It was. I'd run home from school every day and try to hop on it before my brother did.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
so, what they were doing is they're clearly stoking the fans of nostalgia with these games. Once again, it's another collection
Mm-hmm.
that Sega have decided to release in terms of the classic Sonic games, and they've
Right.
completely bungled it again.
Right.
Like, completely. And the fact of the matter is they have like a developer there with Headcanon and Christian Whitehead, who did such great work with Sonic Mania, that they've managed to really, really completely screw this up in such a major way that I don't see Sega, like, Sonic fans accepting this lying down anymore.
Right.
They aren't. They really aren't. And the fact of the matter is that when they did complain about Sonic Frontiers, they got told to shut up and wait until the game came out.
Yep.
Why is it that Sega don't seem to give an absolute flying fuck about this series anymore?
They really, really.
Like, yeah, I know, I've got to note that. But they don't care about Sonic anymore. Like, I don't think they do. All I think that they care about is the constant money that's coming in because of the property itself.
Mm-hmm.
They've got Hollywood appeal, so they're getting more fans coming in that have probably never played the games before.
Mm-hmm.
And this is their first instance in playing these absolutely iconic games, and they are a rushed, bungled waste of money
Mm-hmm.
that had content cut out for the sake of money. This is shocking. This is just pure, unadulterated greed from a company that has completely lost touch with their fans, their IP, and what actually made the games good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest disappointment for me, is that you could see some spark of creativity in them sometimes, but the spark is always doused in like a gallon of water.
Yeah.
It's just, you get one good idea, like Sonic Unleashed,
Mm-hmm.
that you completely muck up by adding the werehog into it.
Yes.
They keep adding gimmicks to games, and I don't get it. And yet, everyone's sitting there and saying to Sega, give Christian Whitehead, Pagoda Games, and Headcanon the chance to make Sonic Mania 2. You get them onto this rush job of a project, completely bungle it up,
Mm-hmm.
to the point where they've now had to come out and say that this was a joke, to the point where probably Sega will never work with them again.
Yeah.
So we'll
It's
get
ridiculous.
Mania 2 at this point.
Yeah.
Or what could be considered as, because Mania was supposed to be the spiritual successor of what could have been a 2D Sonic game on the Saturn, we will never get that quote unquote, yeah, I'm going to say quote unquote, Dreamcast 2D game.
Right.
Which could have been utterly amazing.
Yeah. It
Not
absolutely
any.
could have been.
Well, my bold prediction is that Christian Whitehead probably won't ever work with Sega again, and if he does, it won't be in an official capacity again.
I am going to agree with you on that. I think Sega's just really dropped the ball. Really,
I think they have in a massive way, and I'm disappointed to say the least, because they've got some, like I said, they've got some great properties. You know, they showed some really goodwill with the fact that they managed to get .mu and God Crush Games to work on Streets of Rage 4, like, because it was very clear that they weren't working on Streets of Rage, so they got an outside company to do it. They've done the same with Sonic Mania, and they got some goodwill. You know, the the movies have been like, middling to good, let's say. I've gone back and watched the first movie. It's not as good as I first thought it was.
Oh goodness.
But the fact that they've branched out and they've made made a big show of it and a good success, to be fair, is a nice thing. But they've just, I don't know, it's just for the one step forward they take 15 steps backwards.
Right.
And it's just totally baffling to me now. It's just completely baffling. So whilst I did say to you that I think in the week when we were doing our planning that I was just going to wait until I think this comes out physical with all the DLC content or the pre-order bonus content included on the disc and the cartridge, I said I would wait until it goes down in price as well. Nah, absolutely not.
Right.
I won't pay for this now.
Right.
So a message to you, Sega. Just listen. Just listen to me. All right. Okay. Just for a moment. I will be picking up Gen's 32X and be playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles in the classic original way that it was supposed to be played.
Oh dear.
With the proper music, the proper way it was developed, via an emulator.
Oh dear.
Screw you. Moving on. To another thing that's going to cause utter anger.
We don't have
And
much time.
I know. Activision Blizzard's internal
Oh,
investigation,
gosh.
yes, key internal investigation,
Yes.
finds that it didn't ignore any harassment. The report also claims no harassment was withheld from the board as previously accused.
I will never understand anything, any entity that investigates itself.
No.
Like, that's so dumb. What are they going to say? Yep, we're guilty. We sure did drop the ball. No, they're not going to do that. Dumb.
No, because it's just going to absolutely make them look ridiculous if they did. Because it's... Anyway, let's just get into this. We'll talk more about it when we have the facts on the table. So, a summary of an internal investigation at Activision Blizzard has found, in quotes, no evidence that the company ignored harassment. A November Wall Street Journal report alleged that Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick was aware of multiple sexual misconduct accusations at the company, some of which it's claimed he withheld from the company's board. Kotick has denied these allegations. Sorry, I need to sort of divert quickly away, just for 1 second.
Okay.
Because I did make mention to something to you a couple of weeks ago when I was watching a movie.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if you picked up on it or replied to it.
What was it?
Did you know that Bobby Kotick was in the movie Moneyball?
That was it. You posted that. Yeah. No, I didn't. Never clicked.
No, it made me feel gross. I looked at it and I went, is that Bobby Kotick?
Oh, gosh.
And I looked at it and I went, there's no way that isn't. He looked like you could tell that gremlin-looking motherfucker from a mile away. And Deadbeat has literally just come in and called him Scrotick. So yeah, thank you. And yes, I know I do have to put another notation.
Yes, you do. But that's like Elon Musk turned up in Iron Man. It's just like, what?
Oh yeah, he did. Oh, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
It's all right. Yeah, okay. Let's just stroke his ego a little bit more. Anyway, Activision Blizzard's investigation, which did not directly address the Wall Street Journal's earlier accusations, states, contrary to many of the accusations, the board and its external advisors have determined that there is no evidence to suggest that Activision Blizzard's senior executives ever intentionally ignored or attempted to downplay the incidents of gender harassment that occurred and were reported. Bull.
Yeah.
The statement continues, that work was also not unearthed any evidence, directly or indirectly, suggesting any attempt by any senior executive or employee to conceal information from the board. While it does reference some substantial incidences of gender harassment, it does not conclude that this was a widespread issue. Really? Yeah, okay, the Cosby Suite being one of them, where there is pictures of the Cosby Suite.
Why are we calling it gender harassment? That's a very strange thing. It's harassment. Like, full stop. You don't need to put any kind of identifier in front of it.
But that's the problem. They're moving the goalposts
They
to try and
are.
make it look like they're not
Oh,
guilty
right,
of what's been going on.
They can't say there's no Right, I got it. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. I hate everything.
Yeah, exactly. Look at what they're trying to do.
That's
They're
what it
trying
is.
so desperately hard to sort of move it away from what's actually is the
what
case.
is gender harassment? That's not a thing. That's exactly what they've done, Pete.
They've taken out gender. Like they put gender in rather than sexual.
Yeah, or just harassment, which
because harassment is harassment, whatever way you look at it.
Yeah.
So,
dogs.
Oh God. Over the years, the company has appropriately disciplined and exited employees to ensure that all our practices meet our policies. Yeah, such as going, you might want to go off quietly because, and there's couple of million for your silence.
Yeah, and that's why that one chick had to, commit suicide because, they totally embraced the whole, send them on their way. No.
It also states that there was simply no room at Activision Blizzard for anyone who does not practice our corporate value of providing a safe, inclusive, and welcoming workplace that serves as a model for our industry. Oh, go fuck yourself. This is fucking ridiculous.
You need to write
this
that
is
one down.
stupid.
Yeah.
What the hell?
It's absolutely, was pointless. It's dumb. I cannot believe them.
How can they even say that they're a model for the industry? Okay, maybe you were a model for the industry. An industry back then that was bad.
Yeah.
And some of your employees that worked in that moved on to other companies and made them exactly the same. Yeah, okay. Great work, Activision Blizzard. You did good. Yeah, that's a cue for anyone watching the video if they want to. The company is currently trying to clean up its image ahead of the plans to merge with Microsoft for $68.7 billion.
You have to wonder if they did that on purpose, because 69 would be like such a obvious sexual reference.
I really hope that was the case.
Yeah.
But considering the nature of the offences on show here, I don't think that's the case.
Wow.
Because I think in terms of the optics, that would look pretty bad.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think they avoided it. That's why they went.
Yeah.
For the 68.5.
I mean, yeah, okay, but I think mostly, obviously, I think you're just going for this mostly as a joke. Obviously, in terms of stock purchasing, that's probably how it was valued.
Yes, I know that stuff.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, which is why I think this is a joke here.
It is a joke. It's a very badly done joke on my part.
Okay. I just wanted to finish by adding this point in the story. Earlier this year, Activision Blizzard appointed Christian Hines as its new chief diversity, equity, and inclusion officer. Damage control.
Yep.
So, go on. As the no, I was gonna say something really
You're gonna say the
bad.
token. As the token female on this podcast.
No, I was gonna say as the resident female here. No, I think obviously because this has a much more effect in terms of yourself as the part of the gender involved. I think it would be wise for you to discuss this a bit more than me.
Well, I definitely think that they are a disgusting, sickening company. But here's the thing. I mean, if they can treat women this way, there's no doubt in my mind they're also treating men this way as well. It's just more swept under the rug. I think that the people that do these sorts of things are just rotten, terrible people. And there's no hope for them. This is not an education thing. This is a power thing. And if you're the type of person who has to have power over another person, you can't educate that away,
No.
So I almost think It'll never happen, but they need to just rip it down to the ground and build it back up. Start over. Clean slate it. But,
Whilst I probably am going to mostly agree with you here, like, I do think they need to tear it down, build it back up for sure. I just don't like the idea, obviously, that Microsoft coming in and paying that kind of money and Bobby Kotick walking away with his goddamn golden parachute without literally getting being able to walk away from this completely scot-free.
He's so far gone. If you read some of the stuff he's, issued, or statements he's issued and just internal company stuff, he's so far gone in his narcissism, it doesn't matter. He can't be taught a lesson,
No.
He's just too far gone. So it's just like, for me, it's just like, pay him his money, get him out of there. Just get him out.
I just don't like the idea of him getting the golden parachute, though.
I agree, but he's one of those disgusting people who are always going to come out on top. And, they make me sick. They make me sick.
They absolutely disgust the hell out of me as well, to be fair. I don't agree with it whatsoever. I think anyone that would agree with this would, I'm not going to say that they're clowns, but, it would just be absolute bad optics to think that.
Yeah.
What happened at Activision Blizzard obviously last year, whilst we didn't obviously go into that much detail, but because we didn't really want to be the voices that were covering it like everyone else, because we wanted the voices that were involved in it to be covered.
Right.
Enough time has passed that I feel we can make our comments about it more so.
As observers, absolutely.
As observers, more so. And this makes me feel sick. The whole thing has made me feel absolutely sick to my stomach. That this sort of thing still happens. It is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, those photos of the Cosby Suite and just that one story about a poor female who obviously had her nudes leaked and committed suicide. It's just heinous. It's so disgraceful, and it's not human in any way.
That's what I mean.
I know there's horrible people out there. I'm aware of that. I've dealt with quite a few unfortunate ones myself over the years, but not quite to this level. The depraved, the disgraceful, inability to care about human beings in any way, shape, nor form, if money is involved.
Right.
Remember what they say about power corrupting,
Yeah.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I think in this instance, it is absolutely true. From the very top, absolute power has absolutely corrupted Bobby Kotick, and anyone underneath him in a management level has been corrupted by that. And I'm not going to say that it's solely on Kotick, but his inability to act has led... Yeah, that's what I mean. So his inability to act on it has enabled this situation to keep going on to the point where in 2022 we're talking about sexual harassment and all that kind of crap still. That shouldn't even be something that happens anymore at all. It was never right in the first place. It still isn't right. And why does it still go on?
Well, I mean, I obviously, again, it's not only females that are harassed, but as a female, it is something that is on my mind a lot. And as a female who has always been involved in male oriented either jobs or hobbies or stuff like that, and this is where I think my autism is an advantage. One of the few times I've literally never had a desire for power, except for independent power over myself, that kind. But I don't do peer pressure. I never feel peer pressure. I never feel groupthink or whatever. So it's very hard for me. When I would be around a bunch of the guys and are like, oh yeah, Kiley's cool. Kiley's one of us. Kiley's just a dude. And then, they'll start talking about other people. We would, be in, either gym work or whatever. And I'm like, dude, gross, dude, and I'm the only one breaking from the group. It literally is like a group thing. Like, you get one person that's rotten to the core, and they just they just infect that entire, like this, we're talking about Activision, so that entire workforce. And once that kind of rot is in there, it's very difficult to get rid of it. You have to have people that stand up and go, "This is BS, dude. Shut the F up," And there's not a lot of people out there that I've now found. I thought I was like everybody else. I thought I was the normal one. Apparently not. Most people are just like, yeah, you tell him I'm gonna be gross too. It's just like,
yeah.
okay,
I think
dude.
in this, I think in this situation, unfortunately, it's like a hive mind mentality, isn't
hive
it?
mind. That's
Where
it, yeah.
If one person's turning around and saying, "Yeah, this isn't cool," like most people ignore it. But if 10 people say this isn't cool, then people will go with it.
Yeah.
But it only comes to that point when enough people voice it, which is obviously what's happened here. Is that now the hive mind of Activision Blizzard has been what has been happening for years is absolutely disgraceful, and we've now got more people out willing to talk about it. That it's gone further than they ever thought it would, and that's good.
And see, but I mean, it does harken back to. And this is another thing I can't relate to, but I've seen it with my own eyes, and so I know it happens. If you have a person in power, let's say Bobby Kotick, it could be anybody, Elon Musk, I don't know, pick anybody. They surround themselves with people who want to be part of them. I don't know if they think they can get money out of it, or if they can have power. I don't really understand. It's like the Gazelle Max, whatever her name is.
Ghislaine Maxwell.
That thing, is like, I don't really get it. Yeah, I don't get it if they think that the power's gonna like spread out to them or whatever, but they're absolutely attracted to power. And so, I mean, you see that a lot in Elon Musk's reply guys. Like, they will come at you, with bared teeth and fangs and just want to just rip you a new one if you say anything negative about Elon Musk. And it's like, dude, he doesn't even know who you are, But if they have this rabid, loyalty to him, Bobby Kotick, same thing. All these people, and he even had a female. I forget who it is now, but the lady that wrote the internal memo, the first one. Yeah. She's absolutely like enamored of him. In that, it was like, oh, whatever you say is because you're in power. And that's just, again, thank goodness I am autistic, because there's nothing in me that relates to that. But if you can't break that, whatever that is, I don't even have a name for it, this worship of power, it's not going to trickle down and,
No.
That's the problem.
I'd say it's cult-like worshipping.
Cult, I guess that's probably the closest thing, yeah. And I can't relate at all.
Also clearly in her situation, the allure of Goblin Peen was enough.
Oh gosh, oh dear.
And yes, I think I have a name for the episode title.
Oh, there you go. Oh goodness. But we are gonna have
to let that mental image stick with you.
Thanks for that. But we are gonna have to swiftly move on, unfortunately, which is my fault.
Yeah, sorry about it. It's a shorter show than normal, but later recording, long days for us both. So yeah, life gets in the way, I guess.
It does. Life finds a way.
But yes, I hope you did enjoy this anyway.
I hope so. I did. If you mean me, I did. I hope our audience did.
That's sort of what I was going for.
Yeah, I'm so tired.
I know. So do you want to let everyone know where they can follow yourself?
Yeah.
On the socials?
Yes, if you want to come follow me, although I think I'm going to take a break for a bit, but I mean, you can hang around. It's cool. I'm over on Twitter at, can you tell I'm trying to remember?
No.
Kiley to Great. KILEYTHGREET. Pete, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Pete Beckett 1 at BCKTT and the number 1. Just post random nonsense half the time anyway. I would say check out this week at some point the Never Watchers, because there was a new episode released a couple of days ago, and there will be another new episode coming as well where we finally start Loki.
Yes.
I'll talk about that more in details because I might have given a slight spoiler for something.
Yeah. I want to know,
yeah.
not today because I don't have the time, but Pete, you know I gotta know.
Once I'm finished, we will go into
Yes.
details.
Okay.
We will go into massive details.
All right. Okay, so is there anything else we want to add before I wrap this up?
Don't think so, apart from Bobby Kotick, who's a gross bastard, so
Yes.
let's go.
There you go. Thank you so much to our audience, both our visual and our audio audience, for joining us on this very lovely late evening. And we hope you enjoyed it just as much as we have. And we will see you and talk to you next week. Bye.
Goodbye.
Okay. Do you want to do like 2 minutes and then we...
Yeah, we'll do a couple of minutes anyway. So
Yeah.
I wanted to check if... I always used to obviously bring this up because this came in whilst we were recording. So Brent said that he was back. They red flagged the race for lightning in the
Ooh.
area, which is always a bad one.
Yeah.
Also, we did mention it obviously because
Yeah.
it was relevant. Deadbeat did say Scrotick, so
Yeah.
that was pretty
maybe
apt.
that should be the name of the episode.
Well, Bobby Scrotick, the Goblin Peen.
There you go.
Okay, yeah, I'm doing it. All right.
Oh, yes, there you go.
Okay. I did want to check to see if Deadbeat was still around actually, because I didn't know if he heard that we
Oh,
got
right.
a mention at the beginning of the show for the. All right. Just an aside. I literally started writing down that, and instead of writing Bobby, I wrote Booby.
Hey, Booby
That's not appropriate, is it?
No, I think that one would be the opposite of what we're trying to do.
Of course.
Oh gosh, I'm really not feeling well.
I know. Anyway, so yeah, wanted to see if Deadbeat was still here because we did mention it at the beginning of the show. But thank you very much for jumping in with the games earlier. Very glowing report back on the online for Shredder's Revenge now
Yeah.
because of it.
Now I want to play again. Now that Pete and Deadbeat have successfully played online. I want to give it another go because I think that it's just a really great game. It just really, the little bit I got to play of it, it was like, yeah. This is good.
Yeah, just so you know, Deadbeat, I was actually using a new character because I'm trying to level them up. So, yeah, I was low skilled because of it.
Oh, that's your excuse.
No, because when you
I'm
start
kidding.
the game up, you have to level everyone up individually.
Right.
So obviously, if you start the game brand new with a new character, you start on level 0.
Right.
Whereas the characters he was using, he's obviously played it quite a few times. So all the characters he's using have a lot more skills than I did.
Right.
I held my own.
Oh, very good. Very good.
He said, I just have to level up one character and I've unlocked everything. Damn, son.
That's nice.
That's
good.
pretty good. I'm going to guess Casey's your last one. I mean, Casey does look cool, but I haven't used him
He's
yet.
OP from what I have read.
Not really a surprise on that one.
Yeah.
Probably why he's the last character.
Makes me want to watch the movies again. The originals.
Oh, don't.
The originals.
Just the first one. Just the first one.
I like the first two. I do like the first two. Okay, then they start getting a little cuckoo.
Don't, because I will make mention of that absolutely ridiculously classic line from 3.
Which one?
The ridiculously bad classic moment where he falls out of a sewer and he's like, help, I'm eternal, I can't get up.
Yes. Oh my
so
gosh.
bad. It's so bad.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I love it so much. It's so terrible.
Yes, I agree. Deadbeat Secret of the Ooze should have won an Oscar. Abso-freaking-lutely.
I think this is the problem I have with the second movie. The second movie is not bad. It's not bad. It's kind of a bit of a retread of the first movie, unfortunately.
Go ninja, go ninja, go.
Get out. Get out. That's the only thing that really winds me up massively about that movie.
I loved that. I
Oh,
loved
it's so
that
hammy as
much.
well.
You couldn't have told me that was a bad song because I wouldn't have believed you.
It's a bad song.
Yeah. You know,
Don't care. I'm just gonna say it until the end of
8-year-old
time.
me
It's a
was
bad
like,
song.
"This is the best thing ever."
So did I, and then I grew up.
Oh,
Back in the
man.
day, I probably thought that was the jam. Probably.
I'm sure you did. I know I did.
Yeah, I remember I had to go back and watch all three of those movies for an old podcast I
Oh,
was working on.
gosh.
And that was an absolute
dear.
that was actually torturous, to be
Oh,
honest.
goodness.
I'm so glad that we didn't have to watch the Michael Bay movies in the end. Thank Christ.
I don't think I can do it.
I have watched the first one, and it is really, really bad.
I don't think they're for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest here. That there's probably only one aspect of the Michael Bay movies that actually is quite decent. I say quite.
Right.
Because I think a lot of it has now been hindered by the fact that the actor who played Casey at the time went on to go and do Arrow, and Arrow was terrible. But Stephen Amell was actually quite a good Casey Jones.
That's interesting.
Got the look for it anyway, at least.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I have to wrap.
Yeah, I think we'll call that.
I'm dying.
I know,
anyway,
I can see that.
I have to be up so early. I don't want to do tomorrow. Anyway, thanks so much.
Just think about it, right? You do tomorrow. If it all goes well, you'll be driving.
Well, there's that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. Anyway,
Cool.
Thanks so much to everyone, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.